Welcome to the Army Showcase. The Army Showcase is where we take a look at different armies from different games. In this video, we're going to have a look at an army for the Bellis Antiquitates 3.0. This is DBA 3/2/21C, Former Qin, 351 to 394 AD. Now, in this army, you get to choose from 1, 3, or 4 knight as your general, 1, 3 knight, 1 light horse, 2, 4 auxiliary or 4 blade, 2, 4 crossbow, 3 auxiliary, 1 3 bow or psiloi, 1 psiloi. This army is not made from remnants of the Shi Huangti's Qin kingdom, but the name is actually just to distinguish it from another Qin kingdom called the later Qin that existed later on in the period. Now, in this period, numerous barbarian tribes set up their own kingdoms and controlled all of northern China, while the Chinese Jin dynasty held power in the south. The former Qin are from the Di tribe from western China. They managed to conquer most of the barbarian kingdoms in northern China. There were several rebellions by individual tribes during this time, but the former Qin managed to quell all of them. However, Fujian, the Qin emperor, was too lenient on the rebels, allowing the leaders to stay in command of their respective armies with just an oath of fealty. Now, around 383 AD, Qin Emperor Fujian felt strong enough and attacked the Jin dynasty south the Yangtze River. Their advance guard managed to capture the Jin city of Shuyang, but a counterattack by 5,000 elite Jin troops routed the Qin army of 50,000 troops and recaptured the city. Qin generals implored Fujian to stop the attack and allow them time to train their large but mainly conscript army on river crossing tactics. But Fujian famously replied, now I'm paraphrasing here, "We don't need training. If half my troops threw their weapons and armor into the Yangtze, the other half can just walk across." Yes, this is probably what SL thinks is the first recorded instance of quantity over quality. The 8,000 strong Qin army then found themselves facing the 50,000 strong Jin army across the Fei River. The Jin general suggested to Fujian that the Qin army retreat a bit so that the Jin can cross the river and give battle. Now, against the advice of his generals, Fujian agreed, planning to ambush the Jin when they were halfway across. Unfortunately, after ordering the retreat of the front-line troops, the general in charge of organizing the withdrawal of the rear-end troops died in an accident. Jin infiltrators then took up the cry of, "The Qin have been defeated!" The rear and end troops panicked and began running away, especially since they saw the front-line troops marching towards them. In the end, the entire army panicked and they were massacred by the advancing Jin. Only a stubborn rearguard action by the Qin household troops prevented the Jin from capturing the Qin capital. In the aftermath, Fujian attempted to return to his homeland to rally more Di tribesmen to his cause, but he was ambushed on the way by the other tribe, whom he had previously pardoned and strangled to death. The Qin kingdom then broke up as the other tribes reasserted themselves and set up their own kingdoms once more. Now, when I asked SL why he chose this army to buy and paint, now, apparently SL has a goal of getting a Chinese army from each of the dynastic periods. This army is the Jin dynasty or the 16 Kingdoms period, which is after the Eastern Han, the 3 Kingdoms period. Choosing 15mm armies for DBA are a passion in itself, I think. With so many ranges of miniatures from so many manufacturers, you'll find many DBA enthusiasts slowly trawling the different miniature manufacturer catalogs and getting ideas of what armies they want to build and compile. Sometimes they just buy an army in one lot because it's easier to build, so I send them to Essex Miniatures. This army in particular is also from Essex. In other times, some hobbyists compile different figures from different manufacturers for the army. One of the bigger complaints when it comes to Essex Miniatures is how they sometimes reuse the sculpts from earlier periods for later period lists, like these infantry pieces. Now, if you followed this channel, you probably have seen these figures appear in a showcase before, and are probably wondering whether he painted these twice. But if you haven't, do check out our playlist at the end of the video or in the link in the description to see what other Chinese armies we featured, just to compare and have a look. Here's a very interesting thing about this army. When SL first started this army, it was before the movement control order here in Malaysia. When the COVID pandemic started, the army was completed during the movement control order phase. So SL showed me how the shields of the auxilia, for example, started with the Han type simple geometric shapes and ended with a more detailed tiger head shield since he had more time. This fact is more poignant once you look at the paint job. Taking your time with 15mm miniatures helps so much in getting it to a level higher in terms of quality. Keeping things clean and neat and then taking the time with detail will help so much in pushing your army to the next level visually. Don't be discouraged by the painting levels in these showcases. They are basically chosen from some of the best painters in my community at the moment. I've had some folks send me messages and they're pretty intimidated by the amount of work that has to go into painting 50mm figures. My only advice is give it time, because even SL started off as an amateur painter, a new painter, and it only takes a bit of time and a lot of practice for you to get to the levels that he's at. Just keep going and just keep keeping at it. I slightly wish that SL had done a little campsite for this army. This would have totally completed the showcase, but I got a feeling that from one army to another, especially in the Chinese armies, the camp might more or less be similar. But again, I would have loved to see what SL would have done to build a camp just for this Former Qin army. I really do enjoy making these 15mm army showcases, simply because at this scale you get a slight idea of the enormity of the army while still keeping a certain amount of pageantry in the size and the colors that come with the miniatures. Another beautiful army painted by SL, and I hear he's already at the painting table working on a new army. So that's pretty much it. I hope you liked the video. If you do, like and subscribe for encouragement, and don't forget to enjoy painting those figures.